Good morning, fellow traders. Black Coffee Trader coming to you here on Tuesday morning, March the 10th. Good morning. After this absolute red debacle or red bad run that I've been on the last, let's look at TradeZella this month, really. I think it may even go into last month. Let's look at last month. We ended last month on a red day. So we've had one, and let's go to this month. We've had 6 straight red days. I say I've had 6 straight red days. So it's been a pretty rough start. And I thought about not even doing a trade plan today and just kind of just taking it easy, but I thought, you know what, this is what I'm trying to do is to walk through this myself every morning so that I have an idea in my head and look at some of the key areas in the markets. And so I'm going to do it. And not sure how much I'm going to trade today. We'll see. I'm probably going to find something. I typically do. But the NASDAQ and the thing that I'm seeing this morning, NQ, obviously yesterday, 1,000-point day if you count the overnight session Sunday night, but just a monster move to the upside and then a big move at the end of the day yesterday. I really didn't find out exactly what the news was. I'm assuming there had to be some kind of news to move that market. And we've ran right up to these major highs on the NASDAQ and right up into this area that has been such a problem for me recently. This area right here has just been pretty nasty. Here's the divergence that I'm seeing. The NQ was the outperformer, pushed all the way up to these highs. ES did not do the same. ES also had a big move yesterday, and so did the rest of the markets, but ES did not push up to kind of this yucky zone that you see up in here, up in the the 69.50s and 69.20s, up into that range. So ES has fallen short of that, and what I'm wondering is, was the NQ just simply a bit of an outperformer yesterday, and we're going to slide right back down into this range? May make for some difficult trading on NQ in here, and something that I may not want to be a part of, but that doesn't mean that there may not be other opportunities on some of the other indices like ES, for example. Do we get a slide to the downside? So I think to kind of summarize NQ, if we get a move above this major level, yes, maybe looking for longs, maybe we get a reclaim of yesterday's high of day, maybe there's a long setup. If we're going to slide down into this area, I may have to sit that one out unless you get a really nice break and retest to the downside. And if I find a trade that I really like within this area, I think the other lesson is just to take it off quickly. If you get some profits, take it off and not look for the big move. I think that's one of the things that I probably was a little bit hurt by in that area, is looking for maybe too big of a play in this up and down market. So that's NQ. I don't have a lot to talk about on NQ. I'm really not that intrigued with it. ES, again, what I'm looking at is this major level right here around the 68.40s. Do we get a pop into that level? Or if we stay below that level, it's obviously looking for further downside on breaks and retests of the high of day from yesterday, which we are below the high of day from Friday, and then you get into the Friday low and on down. So there's definitely opportunities, and just simply, I think the one mentality shift I want to make today, if anything, is trade what the market is doing and not what I think it should be doing. Maybe that's not the right choice of words, but I feel like yesterday, for example, I was really looking for a fade. I was really looking for fades, and it just wasn't there. And what I should have been doing is looking for longs, because the market obviously was trending upward. So I think that mindset shift has to change for me a little bit. And if we get downside moves today, look for that, find setups according to the levels I've got set, and then take those trades. Being cautious and being careful, obviously, but we got to get some wins. Dow Jones, I am zoomed out on the 4-hour chart, because the Dow Jones, this is the nasty area that I'm starting to call this market, but we are falling way below that. And again, this is zoomed out to the 4-hour chart. So there is definitely a big level right here around the 48,600s, and there's also a big one right here around the, this is the 48,600s. This one here is the 48,200s. But if you break above those levels, that's where you could definitely look for some longs. I'm way more inclined to look for pops and fades to those levels for shorts, or a pop and a fade and a reclaim of a level to the downside. And so that's really what I'm looking at. Obviously, there's a big one right here. You get below the let me think, this would be the Thursday low of day. If you get below the Thursday low of day, and below this level right here, definitely has a nice short opportunity to the downside. You're shorting into that daily 200, but there's a big area here. So I do think there's some opportunity maybe on the Dow Jones today. We'll see what happens. Do we get some kind of a pop up into these levels and we get a fade off of that? Or do we get further downside? And again, like I said, if the market just shows that, hey, we're going to rally and we're going to go right back up into these areas, being careful and looking for a break and retest above some of these levels and looking for longs. So just trying to keep the eyes open today for opportunity. Russell, we're at a big low area right here, coming in on the daily 100, but right here around the 2570s. And I think that's an area that is going to be kind of a deciding factor. Do we stay below this area, or do we reclaim that for further upside? Again, if we do, we're long enough into this nasty area, but that may be a trade that sets up. So we just have to be open for that. So that's kind of the battle area I'm looking at today on the Russell. What happens, really kind of where price is at today, or right at this moment. So do we fade off of this and do we see further downside opportunities set up, or do we get a move above this and do we get something to the upside? So I think the jury's out today. The jury is definitely out today. And for me, I think the big thing, like I talked about, is I have to really pay attention to what is the trend of the day. And if I'm looking for downside and it's not happening, then we've obviously got to look for longs. And so that's, I think, the mindset shift and getting out of here with some wins, hopefully. So that's where we're at today. We are getting just a fade off of that level. Once again, this has just been such a big smackdown level on the NASDAQ. And as you can see here in the early morning stages, we are definitely getting a slow move to the downside. So we'll see. Maybe we slide right back down into this range. It could very easily happen. So anyway, that's today. I'm going to try to take it easy, and I'm going to try my best to get some green on the charts today. If I find a trade, and I'm not going to be too upset if I don't. I'm not at all worried about that, about having a no trade day. So we'll see if something sets up, and if it does, we'll take it. And if it doesn't, then we'll be back tomorrow with another one. So thanks again for following along. Thanks for supporting the channel, and good luck today. Trade well. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Take care, and so long.